Willie D live.
This uncivilized mutt right here. He is. Look at him. That's him. Fort Hood doctor accused of sexual misconduct, charged with secretly recording patients. That's the uncivilized mutt. An Army gynecologist accused of sexual misconduct by dozens of his former patients is officially charged with allegedly recording his patients, along with several other related charges, the Army's Office of Special Trial Counsel said Tuesday. Major Blaine McGraw, a doctor at Fort Hood, Texas, was charged with 54 specifications or alleged instances of indecent visual recording, 5 specifications of conduct unbecoming of an officer, 1 specification of willful disobedience of a superior officer, and 1 of making a false statement. The Office of Special Trial Counsel said in a news release Tuesday that the alleged offenses span between January 1st, 2025 and December 1st, 2025. The case includes 44 alleged victims, the office said. Nah, man. Nah. It's been way long. He's been operating way longer than that. If they got him from January 2025 to December 1st, 2025, he probably started, whenever he got in, when he first got in, he probably started soon thereafter. And ain't no telling how many others who were with him, who are like him, maybe who taught him how to move in those spaces. And let's not forget the ones he taught. Let's not forget the ones who assisted him. The majority of the alleged offenses occurred during medical examinations with female patients at Carl R. Darnell Army Medical Center. The OSTC said in its release, referring to the medical center on Fort Hood. One victim who was not a patient, was secretly video recorded at a private residence off the post near Fort Hood. The OSTC, which exists in each military branch, was established in 2023 and is primarily responsible for handling crimes such as sexual assault, murder, domestic violence, and more. McCrow was placed in pretrial confinement last Thursday after apparently violating conditions of liberty imposed by his commander, an Army spokesperson previously told CNN. McGraw is facing allegations from dozens of women who say they were victims of sexual misconduct as patients of McGraw's. The military has sent out letters to roughly 3,000 former patients of McGraw from both Fort Hood and Tripler Army Medical Center in Hawaii in order to notify potential victims. And while the charges are only related to incidents in 2025, CNN has reported there were complaints made against him in 2022 and 2024. Some alleged victims who spoke to CNN said they tried to sound the alarm on McGraw's behavior in years past, but felt they were brushed aside or that their complaints were lost in a frustrating bureaucratic reporting process. Those concerns were echoed Tuesday in a letter to the Pentagon Inspector General from the Senate and House Democrats, who demanded accountability for what they called an immense failure at every level to protect and support women. We request that the DODIG investigate to determine whether personnel within the Army properly followed procedures to timely report allegations of sexual misconduct to law enforcement, and whether other sexual assault prevention and response procedures and existing protections were followed or not, the letter sent on Tuesday said. Officials will now set a date for a preliminary hearing, which is required before the charges can be referred for trial. The preliminary hearing officer will thoroughly review the evidence to determine if there is probable cause for each charged offense and issue a report which the OSTC will review and determine if the charges should go to court martial, the office said in its news release. I can tell you where it's going, fam. It's going to another slap on the wrist. I'm pretty sure that his superiors knew what was up. I'm pretty sure. Remember, there were patients who said they tried to sound the alarm. They tried to sound the alarm, and nothing was done. Now, why would nothing be done? Remember, y'all, this is a country that allegedly cares about its women. This is a country that allegedly tries to support women, protect women. You know, this is what we do. This is America, man. We protect our women. No, 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 no. This country does not protect women. If a woman is protected, she's going to be protected by herself or her man. If she's going to get some protection, she's going to either be protected by herself or her man. That's it. That's where her protection is going to come from. Or even perhaps her kids. If she got some kids that's old enough and know how to maneuver, get around or whatever, and take care of business, you know, sometimes it's her children that are going to protect her. But other than that, she's on her own. This country is not pro-women. This country protects predators. This country protects predators, sexual predators, all day, every day, on every level. I would not be surprised if this dude got a slap on the wrist, even with this case making international news, because this country is not serious about protecting victims of sexual assault. Not women, not children, not men. This guy should be brought to Times Square. He should be brought in the middle to the main street in the city and be given 50 lashes. Now, 150. I don't know why I said 50. I guess I said 50. I think I heard Ice Cube say 50 before. 50 lashes. Somebody get 50 lashes. 150. 150 lashes. He should get at least 150 lashes. Yeah. Imagine, family, how many women went to him. And I'm sure he has some great bedside manners. I'm sure he knew how to make them feel comfortable and relaxed. And they probably thought he was the last person that would take advantage of them like that. This is part of the reason why a lot of women don't use OBGYN males. But the problem is with that is you can't trust the women either. Remember, many of these traffickers, they use women accomplices. Yeah. So you can't just automatically assume because it's a man or it's a woman that she won't do something that a man might do, that she won't try to take advantage of you as a man would. Because it ain't nothing for the woman to, let's say you got an OBGYN female. She may decide to take advantage of you all on her own, or she's in that room with you. First of all, they're never all on their own. They always have an accomplice. They got an assistant or somebody. So he's not the only one that violated those women. They were violated by other people who work with him. So let's say it's a woman though. Let's say you got an OBGYN woman. Well, that woman could easily have you knocked out and then bring in, have her guy, her main guy, or a guy that works there, or both, And even a woman come in there once you get knocked out and do whatever they want to do to you. Let me ask you something, fam. You think that there is not a female gynecologist somewhere in this country who wait until the patient is knocked out and bring in their boyfriend or husband or one of the dudes that work there and violate them? You think that's not going on? Family, you got to understand this about human beings. If you can think it, a human being will do it. If you can think it, a human being is doing it. So if she's not doing it on her own, if she's not just pleasing herself, she's probably got somebody else coming in and they getting down too. You can't trust them. I think that there should be some type of monitors in those spaces. I think that a family member should have some type of there should be some type of monitor. You know, maybe it ain't all the way up your private or whatever, but maybe it's a monitor over here. And at the very least, you can tell if a doctor is climbing on top of a patient. You can tell if a doctor is taking his privates out and put it in a patient's mouth. At the very least, you can see that. I think they should have cameras, and family members should have access to viewing what's on those cameras. I also think that there should be a third party. I wouldn't say a third party, because third parties are freaks too. It needs to be somebody who got something to lose. Maybe it's a family member or a third party, but the family member should be able to see inside those rooms what's going on. Same thing with emergency rooms, and when they're doing operations and even when they're not doing operations. If you have a loved one in the hospital, you should be able to tap in and see them while they're in that room. You should be able to see what's going on. If you have a loved one at a what do you call those things, those places? If you have a loved one at a nursing home, that should be a camera. You should be able to just like you can tap in and see what's going on at your house, you should be able to tap in and see what's going on at that nursing facility inside of that room where your loved one is at. You should be able to see that. And the only reason why they don't have those cameras there is because they know they're going to have lawsuits out their ass. They know those lawsuits are coming because they know they're not right. They know they're not packing fair. That's the only reason why they don't have those cameras in those rooms.